that are considered worse than them in the standings as well. This is a team that does like to be relatively consistent with their performances. And you can see we are into Champion Select, and Nidalee and Bard are going to be the priorities here from Saint, which makes a lot of sense as Caitlyn and Vladimir taken away on the side of Vici.
So again, still looking for that target ban of the Caitlyn. We'll see if they also get the target ban of the Ezreal, if they leave the Rise up from red side.
Well, Lissandra is actually going to be the ban here, as Vici can look to the Ezreal if they want to, but they can also ban away that Rise, which makes a lot of sense here, and that is going to be the one that goes.
Rise currently sitting at like a 69 to 70% win rate in the LPL alone, so...
And still 100% pick and ban rate.
A lot of respect given to that champion. So now we're looking at what the priority pick will be.
Yeah, and things like Swain are available. Trundle, of course, is still there as well. Still a lot of champions with a lot of merit, but Rek'Sai, of course, is going to be snapped up first, much like what Dandy did in game number 1. So March going to be on that sort of controlling, least objective controlling, vision controlling jungler.
And Rek'Sai is just in way too healthy of a spot right now. The changes to Cinder Hulk mean that her clear speed is so much more quick. She's very tanky. She's putting out a lot of damage, so she can compete with the likes of... She's kind of like that perfect hybrid between like the Gragas and the Nidalee. She's going to have great power late game, whereas someone like Nidalee, very strong early, falls off a little bit in her power late.
Well, you can see Vici answering with some strong picks of their own, as the Karma is going to be going into the hands of Caveman. Definitely a good news story with the Bard now on the bench. And EasyHoon once again on the Azir, massive priority on the Golden Chicken.
Should be noted that with the Bard being banned and with Caveman getting that Karma, it pretty much gives Vici a very powerful 2v2, which is, I was going to say, why he's having to go towards that Thresh, or why I suspected a Thresh would be picked up, especially for newer support to the LPL, because you need some sort of ranged support to be able to compete with that.
Yeah, Maydong with a lot of engage potential here as well out of this champion, as STYZ thinking about heading straight back to the Jhin and saving their solo lanes for later on in this draft. Not as important with Vici locking in their mid laner already. However, don't want to show their hand too much.
A little bit easier to blind pick the likes of Azir.
Yeah, precisely. And Trundle is still available. That is definitely something we've got to talk about when we see a Jhin.
I think it'll be Sivir Trundle.
Yeah, Sivir Trundle makes a bit of sense here.
Especially since you're blind picking your top laner.
Yeah, they could think about also, you know, maybe picking up something like the Ezreal here as well. We'll see what they decide to do, as Trundle currently being hovered. I think that makes a lot of sense. Now Schwanschwan maybe wanting to save his pick until last, and Dandy going to grab the Graves this time.
Yeah, so not willing to show their hand on the AD carry. Not quite sure about the Sivir Jhin matchup yet.
That'd be cute. The Carthus is locked in.
I think he'll go Victor. It's been kind of the big pick for Snoopy. Obviously an easy answer for the Azir. He did hover the Jace. Likewise in that same vein would be the likes of Varus, so something really long range to get around Azir's reach.
Varus and Rumble together actually makes a bit of sense. Something that LGD tried to do a little while ago.
Really set on these assassin picks though. So Snoopy usually rotates his position with the likes of Otto. Otto is much more comfortable an assassin player. And as I set up for that, I should have just known. I should have known he's not an assassin player.
Should have trusted yourself, Rosker.
He's a control mage player, so it is going to be that Victor.
Yeah, and Rumble once again locked in here for Saint. So knowing that the matchup is going to be the same, going to be taking the Rumble once again into the Trundle. We'll see whether Acorn's going to have a better time, but he of course did fine in lane. It's just Long was able to get around and help his team just a little bit more and grab some kills out of it.
I would love to see an Ashe locked in.
Yeah.
I still think it'll be the Sivir, but because they didn't immediately go for the Sivir and instead went for the Graves, I had a little bit of hope that they would maybe look at Ashe.
Well, they also do have some opportunity to go for the Ashe here as well, with the fact that they already have the Karma for the extra speed up.
Exactly. Gotta go fast.
Damn right. Schwanschwan P still currently making his mind up.
We're going the opposite direction.
Yeah, precisely.
Okay. Safety, you're across from a Thresh, so maybe not super comfortable to look for the likes of Ashe or Sivir, even though you have the spell shield.
Makes some sense, yeah.
And your 2v2 scenario, Karma Ezreal is going to be a very self-sufficient, very safe bottom lane with the ability to augment movement speed as well as have the arcane shift, poke from a distance so you're never really out of farming range. Makes sense Xuan Caveman, not the strongest of the 2v2s, especially when you look across from STYZ alongside his new support with the Thresh.
Yeah, now a lot more actually put on Long here as well, because Dandy is going to be on the Graves, not going to be on the tanky Rek'Sai that he was last time, being that secondary tank. And it's going to be Long, the Trundle, trying to race for that back line, be that front line that Vici do need.
We'll see if Long puts himself in a position where he gets so far ahead that he's able to continuously keep down Acorn, however. Now, Acorn has picked Rumble into the Trundle matchup twice now, so obviously feeling comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Things snowballed out of his control with a couple of teleport cross-map plays where Long just got ahead of him in terms of itemization. See if maybe Acorn can stay toe-to-toe this time around.
Yeah, it's going to be something that we really will have to look at here as the coaches shake hands. Let's get into game number 2 between Vici and Saint. That was a very dark and brooding Acorn to bring us into game number 2 here between Saint and Vici. Saint now on the blue side do get the priority Rek'Sai pick. We'll see whether March can make things work this time around and whether the focus will still be on Easy Moon.
Focus for Saint this time around. They do have a lot more options in terms of where their kill threat is in their lanes. So last time around, they had the big hard CC in the mid lane with Lysandra and then the burst from the Graves jungle. So it was really focusing on Easy Hoon trying to get Snoopy ahead. With the Rek'Sai and having the likes of Thresh as well as Rumble in the top lane, and then Victor after level 6 or even before level 6 if he hits a nice gravitational field. He's got kill threat everywhere, so a lot more options for March to play his different lanes, how he sees fit.
Well, we can see another lane swap now to be instigated here from Vici. As Maydong shows himself on the bottom side, Snoopy throws out a cheeky little Q.
Vici,
full vision.
on the other hand, see if they actually go for this lane swap. No, they're going to go ahead and go for 2v2 standard lanes.
Interesting. So they thought about it and decided not to. We'll see whether they decide to take the Gromp as well. They are positioning around it. STYZ and Maydong as well. Going to be doing the same thing on their Krug camp. Standard lanes are going to ensue.
Does mean that Acorn will get the initial 1v1 against the Trundle.
Yeah.
Had a phenomenal game last time around on his Rumble. Of course, we should really think back to his Samsung Blue days where Acorn and Rumble were synonymous.
Mm-hmm.
Now I feel like Marn's kind of taken that mantle from him.
Well, certainly more recently, that is for sure. As you can see, Vici able to deny the first 3 melee minions. We'll see whether this lane is going to go better. Of course, they fell behind just a little bit early on in the last matchup, but weren't too worried about it. They survived. Things were fine.
And they actually have some initial very good poke damage coming down. A little bit curious that Caveman and Xuan went for the camp trade, so taking Gromp for Krugs, as opposed to trying again their little cheeky Afrika move of standing forward in the brush and trying to catch STYZ and Maydong as they walked into the bottom lane with a lot of their poke damage. But here comes March, and this is what we were talking about. So much more kill threat and a lot more gank options available to him due to the CC and the damage in each of his lanes.
Well, Maydong will have to find a hook here because despite the fact that there's kill threat. Oh, okay, not going to find it. Xuan P going to use his Arcane Shift, gets himself out. March just decides to go back to farming as Dandy takes his blue buff.
Yeah, does know where Dandy is, so alleviates a lot of the pressure and the tension up into the top side. Both top laners can be a bit more liberal this early on in the game with how they push, knowing that both junglers are on the bottom side.
Yeah. March finally grabs his red buff here as well. So Dandy looking to sneak into the brush. This wave from Vici has been pushed up, but they knew that that ward was down. So looking for a counter gank by the looks of things on the side of Dandy. has definitely been something that he's always been fantastic at.
Yep, just being very aware that March was on this side, making sure that he's near the bottom side of the map. And again, we talked about how both junglers' bottom side means that both top laners can get a bit more ham, which opens up a lot more space for Long in particular.
Well, you can see ham is exactly what Lung was able to do. These extended auto attack trades definitely favoring the Trundle, who's taken some control here in this lane. Speaking of lane control, Snoopy doing quite well, but Easy Hoon having that harass advantage.
Needs to start respecting March, however. Long still overextended and Rek'Sai's looking top, but meanwhile bot.
Yeah, speaking of respect, P is going to get ignited here. The auto attacks come down. The heal comes out at exactly the right time as the hook is going to go wide. Caveman still looking for more. But First Blood's going to go down on the top side of the map as I believe Long was trying to dive as Acorn is incredibly low. Both flashes traded.
So yeah, Long burned his flash. I'm assuming that he knew he was in trouble. Look at Acorn's blinking health bar, was trying to trade 1-for-1, but Dandy is trying to make something count on the bottom side.
Yeah, well, Dandy flashes forward, doesn't get the end of the line as STYZ throws out the heal just in case. So Vici getting denied across this map.
Yeah, exactly. Aggression across the map, and Vici's bottom lane can't get it done, as we're going to see the replay. So yeah, Long sees how low Acorn is. He knows that he's dead anyway. He might as well try to trade 1-for-1. Unfortunately, unable to capitalize on his flash. Burns his summoner and gives Acorn the kill.
That's a big deal. Goes again for that cull pickup as well, so wanted to make sure that he can stay relevant in that gold. Snoopy continues to farm here. Hasn't been back to base just yet, as Easy Hoon just did. Grabs a Null Magic Mantle as well as another Doran's Ring. And I think we're going to be looking at this mid laner from Vici a little bit more this game as well. I mean, he had a fantastic game one, don't get me wrong, but with things going the way they are around, could be a problem as March now looking for the knock-up. Gets it there. It's a really nice pillar to stop Acorn from getting too much follow-up damage, but March is right on top of it. And Long, not long for the world, falls down right after the teleport.
Yeah, didn't have his flash available to him, and now in even more trouble as this wave will get pushed in, and he has zero answer for it, which means an experience advantage as well as a massive buy advantage to Acorn.
Precisely. Well, gets himself another longsword, so he can at least purchase something. But that's about the end of the good news here for the Trundle. We'll see what Vici do to try and turn this one around. Cloud Drake is going to be the first dragon.
I mean, the only options that you have in turning it around is if you gank up there and it's a 2v2 Rumble versus Rek'Sai or Trundle and Graves.
Yeah.
Especially post level 6, Acorn's going to be so strong with that equalizer that Dandy can almost only go up there if he has assistance from other lanes or he knows exactly where March is. So I think Dandy almost has to go all in on this bottom lane.
Well, it does look like he's doing so, clearing out vision wards. There's STYZ flourishing across the minion wave. Takes an Essence Flux for his trouble as Caveman going to have that snare interrupted by a Lantern. Things quietening down a little bit on Summoner's Rift, but as the dust settles, it's an 1,000 gold lead for Saint once again. Early game in their favor, most definitely.
And we talked about this. Saint, their members, 1v1, mechanically, individually, they're fine. They're a very experienced roster in their own unique careers. It's just putting them together, they don't have the time to have a developed synergy like a team like Vici.
Well, really nice hook here onto Caveman, who's already down very, very low. Nice grenade damage, but the Mystic shots with the Sheen are going to answer that. And in fact, P decides that he doesn't even want to pick up a tier on his first back, wants as much control as he can in this lane.
Yeah, trying to get more trade potential. And really respecting March right now. He has complete control of this map, so top side quadrant.
Yeah.
He's already won if he's up there, especially now that he's level 6. If he has his neural network of tunnels set up and available to him, he should be able to play to the bottom side quite safely and respond to top side as now a TP is being pulled.
Yeah, actually cancelled here because they understood that Vici had moved back. So Acorn not going to have that teleport for some time. Long, his almost back up.
But he hid himself, and he's still hiding himself in this brush. So Long probably thinks that the teleport could have been completed, or hiding that the teleport was even pulled to begin with.
Yeah.
So we'll see how Saint actually micromanaged that abuse of information.
Well, you can see immediately Dandy did move towards the top side of the map, knowing that March was on the bottom side. STYZ taking some damage, but nice Lantern is going to get into safety. There is still some fight in this Vici squad, especially on the bottom side of the map, as they are even on farm as well. True Shot Barrage is going to tag STYZ. Flash has to be burnt, actually, in the 2v2. Lots of aggression. Is Snoopy going to steal away the blue buff?
So far, March has taken control of 2 sides of the jungle. He now has control of Vici's blue side, as well as the complete top side of the map. Dandy kind of running out of a lot of responses, and not having a blue buff available for Easyhoon's Azir is going to be very punishing should Saint look to try to pressure a dragon. Fortunately for Vici, it is only an air drake, so they don't need to fight this one to the same regard as if it was Infernal or Mountain.
Yeah, especially, knowing Vici's record with which dragons they do like to fight for. Easyhoon now, once again, back to farming. Oh, looking for the engage here, actually, as Dandy's going to come round. Half health already on Snoopy as the gravity field is going to wear off. And Caveman came from the wrong side. Snoopy just walks out the long way.
Trying to go all in on Easyhoon and recognizing, again, top lane's pretty much a bust. A lot of resources have been putting into the bottom lane. They kind of passively lost it, although still maintaining a CS. What's the word? Non-gap?
Yeah.
It's even in CS. Which
CS equality.
CS equality, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
We aspire for equality in all CS.
In all things. As Maedong was there with a really nice land to make sure March wasn't too deep. The Void rushed right into the enemy jungle. And you can see it's actually a lead in CS for Snoopy in that mid lane. Both mid laners farming out quite well, but that is definitely a good news story here for the Victor player. Standing on top of this pink ward, his position well and truly known.
Well, he has no control over his blue side, so might as well take what he can, knowing that March is on the other side of the map, and Acorn has a back, so Dandy's still doing a good job showing that as a jungler with his veteran experience, he's able to abuse these tiny windows that he can and try to even out his farm.
And so far keeping up quite nicely with March, who, like you said,
who just has complete control.
Speaking of which, P and Caveman zoned away from this minion wave. As March was in full vision, and knew exactly where the Rek'Sai was, and is now moving into the enemy jungle. Dandy will spot him. It's a few cheeky autos. We'll see how aggressive he does decide to go, as once again, vision put down.
Dandy needs to be really careful, though. Luckily, March isn't going to continue to push it, but March actually has control of the bottom lane and the mid lane right now, because Easyhoon decided to back as Dandy was contesting for his jungle. Naturally, there's opportunity for Easyhoon to do it anyway, simply because there's really nothing in that side of the jungle that you should be contesting for. There's no blue buff or anything like that.
Yeah.
But could have gone a little bit pear-shaped if Saint really decided to go ham there.
Well, blue buff now going to be taken here from Saint. Snoopy going to be able to pick up his second blue buff of the game, which is pretty ridiculous. And now everyone moving towards the top side. Long does have Subjugate and his flash available, but 3 members. Saint could be a problem. There's the curtain call, as it is going to miss once. Caveman taking some damage from the final one, but half health bars now on this Vici squad, and no ultimate now available for STYZ.
Keeping them at low health, it should be noted that Saint do have a perfect timer of Vici's blue buff, as well as have moved in and warded that. So all of the makings of looking to contest that buff as they had done previously. Still have control over the bottom side, so we'll keep a track on that timer.
Yeah, March as well now walks over a ward, looking for a dive underneath this turret here as P and Caveman have got themselves back up to health, but there's the teleport coming in. Caveman wants to lock down March, but he's not even in turret range just yet. Flashes out of the way. Nice equalizer one more time as Acorn's going to get exhausted. Lung, he's teleported over. Dandy's going to get in here with a quick draw, and Acorn is most definitely dead. It will be a 1-for-1 trade, as the Subjugate is going to finish that one off, and Lung picks up the kill, much needed for the top lane, and we'll see whether Saint can get anything more around this map. Easyhoon was moving over. P now is going to stop this one from falling down.
So again, Saint set themselves up for a very aggressive play on the bottom side, setting down their deep triangle vision over Vici's bot side. Luckily for Long, not only does he get to be the primary benefactor of picking up that kill on the teleport, but he actually doesn't sacrifice anything in terms of his CS. It wasn't like Acorn had a wave going into his tower as that play was made. And that's really kind of the difference between the fine-tuned elite teams of the LPL and kind of Saint when they're setting up their plays.
Well, there's the flash. Oh, Easyhoon gets out of the way of March there with a nice Emperor's Divide. Takes the double damage from the Death Ray, but that's a summon a spell burnt for the mid laner of Vici.
And that blue buff is again about to spawn. With Easyhoon being forced back, it should mean that Vici are again going to have to give this up. Nope. Easyhoon says, we're fighting here. I'm not giving this one up. Stalls out his back, and we're not going to have a 2v2.
Oh, there's
Make
a deadly
4v2.
flourish as well. Yeah, 4v2 here as the blue buff is getting taken down very low. They've made sure that they have this one. March actually takes that one away as Snoopy isn't able to get it. Just denying it from Easyhoon being the priority.
Much cleaner jungle pathing this time around from Saint. March doing a good job contesting Dandy at every single opportunity, keeping these timers again. It's another perfect blue timer that they have, and we'll see if they can continue to abuse that pressure point on the map.
You have to say as well, I mean, Lung, despite dying twice in the early game, Acorn picking up yet another kill after that gank on the bottom side. He's ahead in farm. Trundle has done very well to equalize despite a difficult start.
Well, it's also
used, clears out this wave.
When plays are being made, Long is getting a lot more out of them than Acorn is.
Yeah.
Think of the last play that Acorn made with the teleport, having to be the sacrificial lamb for his team.
Yeah, and Long making his way back up towards that top side, able to clear things out as Acorn just going to bust right into Lung here. Subjugate goes down, though, and Acorn has to walk around this pillar. It's a lot of damage out of Lung at the moment as the flash is available from Acorn, but Lung can follow up immediately. Equalizer goes down. Lung wants to find it, but Acorn is able to flash his way to safety. And that is dangerous times here for the top laner as March looking to try and aggress on this one and gets the flash out of the top laner as well.
It's Long abusing the overheat from Acorn right there, seeing that Rumble has gone into it and just continuing to bash away at him while supplementing his health with the Subjugate.
Nicely done. Dandy and Caveman now able to take down this Cloud Drake 15 minutes into the game. It's a late dragon, but when it's a Cloud, you don't seem to worry about it too much. March going to make his way back onto the Rift. Mountain Drake up next. Vici definitely looking for that one, and they've clawed back this gold gap just a little bit. 700 instead of the 1,000, whereas it's only really been trades around this map so far.
And it's just being slightly more beneficial in these teleport plays on the bottom side of the map. Yes, they've given up multiple blues, but able to shore up the differences between Long and Acorn in particular and get Long back into a point of power into that top side by being better reactive with their teleport plays.
Well, Easyhoon once again going to head back to base, as you saw. Was March able to steal away a Raptor. And STYZ looking to take down this turret as well after he reloads, of course. It's the Iceborne Gauntlet completed by P, but will it be able to save the turret is the question. It looks like it might be, as STYZ can't get the last couple of shots.
Again, another bottom play from Saint. Teleport is back up and available for Acorn. Vici have responded, though, by placing a pink ward into their Tribush, so not trying to give away too free of a TP position. Yeah,
it'll actually be worth some money there as well, that pink ward, I believe. P now with his Iceborne Gauntlet, able to slow down the minion wave. And STYZ continues to have a slight lead as far as farm is concerned, as once again, delivered mid laner here in the mid lane. Snoopy in trouble, end of the line does double damage, and Dandy picks up the kill.
But it's Saint showing their hand that they're all in on the bottom side. But speaking of all in, top.
Oh man, everyone just fighting all over this Rift as Long getting so much of his health back. Once again, more fighting. Nice disengage here out of Vici. As P uses his Arcane Shift and is still going to get stunned. Acorn still getting followed here as Dandy. Lots of damage comes down. Collateral damage secures the kill, and Vici taking control.
It's abusive information. Vici see that Saint are all in on the bottom. They're trying to set up for a TP play, that Rek'Sai is in the area, that he's trying to get Acorn in there as well. Dandy says, that's fine, immediately runs mid lane, picks up a kill. In response, Saint are like, we can't let them kill mid lane, we have to go all in bottom lane. But Karma, Ezreal, such a safe lane, able to disengage. Yes, they do manage to take down the outer bot tower, but it could have been so much worse. Vici doing a great job minimizing the issues on the map.
Yeah, Easyhoon as well, trying to bully March out of the jungle so they know where the jungler is once again, as STYZ trying to back. And P really needs to hit an auto attack, gets himself the slow. We'll see whether they can get anything more, as there's the heal out. And the teleports both coming in here from Vici as Acorn's going to turn up. True Shot Barrage comes in, Lung answers, but it's a really nice deadly flourish as P now with no escapes left. Will probably fall down. STYZ picks it up. March very, very low as Lung running for the hills, but there's no turret left there anymore. And I don't think that they'll be able to get this one. Long now does dodge out of the way of the stun. And there is the Tormented Ground. March falls down. Long is just so big.
We talked about the caster curse. I was just saying that Vici did a great job kind of minimizing losses. Yes, it does kind of come back for them in the end, but the double teleport because Easyhoon took heal and because Snoopy took Ghost, the double TP or the double global presence is actually to the Rek'Sai team, which is what was abused there and trying to set that up for Saint. A good response from Long, just being 2-2-1 on this massive Trundle for some reason.
Exactly. Snoopy once again going to get flashed on here by Easyhoon. Emperor's Divide comes out, nice gravity field, but they're not able to actually close the gap.
Bit overzealous.
Yeah, possibly.
Had enough numbers though. Karma also waiting in the wings.
I do like the idea. Akon now towards the bottom side.
Something we haven't talked about is that in all of the chaos, Vici did manage to steal Snoopy's blue, and now Easyhoon, for the first time this game, will get his own blue.
Yeah. Oh, how the tables have turned.
And it's really just been these slow acquirings of vision and information and how Vici have been reactive with it to close the lead that Saint had.
Oh, nice hook. As Schwanschwanpi is going to get stunned afterwards. Maydong helps out. And STYZ able to lock it down with the damage done. And now Caveman in trouble. Gravity Field comes in, and Chaos Storm is going to be able to eat through the Karma. No flash available as Dandy. They're going to have a transition onto him. Really nice play from Saint on the top side of the map.
But as I say that, Vici's bottom lane is still a liability.
Yeah.
Caught out multiple times. Good showing from Saint's new support, Maydong, especially on that thresh, looking very comfortable and setting up his play for big positions.
Yeah, now Long trying to save this inner turret, but you can see 4 men strong from Saint are going to be able to rip through this. There's a 2-turret lead and 3,000 gold now in favor of Saint. Oh, correct me. That is a 3-turret lead. They've managed to get around this map and
this
really wreck through things.
Gold difference was only about 1,000k, maybe 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, exactly.
So big snowball from Saint. And the response from Vici? At Acorn.
Well, yeah. See what Easyhoon can get done here as Dash Cannon comes back. Acorn taking a bit of damage as the outer turret in the mid lane is very, very low. Some standing gold available here from Vici as Sand Soldiers able to slow people now as Easyhoon has completely foregone the Nash's Tooth. Went straight for that Rylai's. Interesting adaptation.
Helps with the utility that his team already has built up. So you have the Rylai's on Azir as well as the Icewind Gauntlet completed for Schwanschwan.
Yeah. Trisha Barrage clears out a minion wave, and they're looking to see whether they can get some work done on this outer turret on the top side.
Not enough members in position for Vici's mid-outer, however. The fact that Caveman has to be so protective and cautious with Schwanschwan that he's not able to assist his team elsewhere on the map. And this is why, because now we have an immediate flank from Saint.
Yes, so many members moving up here towards the top side, and with no inner turret there available either.
No arcane shift.
So dangerous. Yeah, Schwanschwan did shift to try and create more distance, and they are easily able to pick up the AD carry.
And that's 3 picks simultaneously on Vici's bot lane that have pretty much negated all lead that they had compensated for. So Saint now turning towards this Baron.
Yeah, Equalizer even thrown down here on top of it as there's no vision available from Vici. They're now moving right over as Dandy taking a lot of damage from Snoopy. Chaos Storm comes down. Dandy flashes out of the way as Snoopy is extraordinarily low. This Baron down below half health. Saint sticking on it for the moment as Easyhoon looking for more. Wants to find Snoopy as the Duskblade is going to proc on him. But Vici, they haven't had a look inside the pit. The Baron's just going to get taken and Saint walk away with that and lose nothing.
Yep, Vici didn't have the tools to try to get into that pit. Still a little bit risky to contest a Baron against the likes of the Dandy, the Prince of Thieves.
Yeah.
But thankfully for them, they're not able to get in it, and Saint now in complete control.
Totally. Now you've got Long trying to build towards his Ravenous Hydra. Easyhoon takes a big shift, gets himself out as Caveman stuns himself there walking into the Deadly Flourish. Sun Turret comes in as the hook lands onto Easyhoon. Everything going wrong. The Emperor's Divide was there onto 4 members, but it's just not enough. And Saint are all over this game.
Vici caught out multiple positions, multiple players, multiple places, and are just pretty much high-fiving as they individually run into Saint's open waiting arms.
One after the other. Long now, not going to be able to get in there and protect this turret. The inner is going to fall, and that is 5 turrets very swiftly picked up from this team. And all of a sudden, a 6,000 to 7,000 gold lead.
Not going to stop right there as Acorn has done a nice job setting up this bottom wave for a very easy rotation from Saint, which they can then fall back onto that Mountain Dragon.
Yeah, where March is already situated himself. Pillar comes in. Vici, we'll see whether they actually want to give this one up. But the rest of their base is just getting onslaughted by minions.
They're in no position to contest for this dragon. They don't have the vision. They don't have the power. You're still sitting in between items for Azir to hit that 3-item power spike. He's just sitting on 2, the Rylai's and the Nashers, so still looking for that Abyssal.
Well, that's only a stinger.
There you go.
Well and truly behind you, exactly right. Is Dandy able to steal away a blue buff? Gets something amidst the chaos. But 7,000 gold lead will be difficult for Vici to find their way through. We'll see whether they can.
They have to sit back, defensively ward up their jungle, and continue to farm to break points, and then set up for a big 5v5 to empower EasyHoon. But things like this keep happening.
Yeah, precisely. And there's the curtain call. EasyHoon taking a lot of damage, slowed down, but it is going to get cancelled. Now Snoopy pushing up the mid lane. Long was here. I believe it could have potentially been... Oh, God, there's the knock-up. EasyHoon in trouble. He's able to shift his way out as Deadly Flourish is going to miss. He's very close to going down as P flashes in front, wanted to save his mid laner, but the flash is used and Azir gets himself to safety. Good God, this is close.
Did look like P was the one to flash. It was an arcane shift on the particle of EasyHoon flashing.
Yeah. Oh, arcane shift. Oh, okay. Of course, of course.
Looked a little bit weird for me too.
Yeah, certainly did. But now Vici trying to hold on to their base. Have been known to do this quite well. But not this early.
They do have good wave clear options in the Karma as well as the Azir and then Dandy. So Graves and Karma kind of making up for their lackluster wave clear on their AD carry and Ezreal. Naturally, if EasyHoon isn't dove, he's fine to sit back. And that's kind of the thing about Saint's composition is they don't have the best engagement.
Yep.
You're effectively looking at the Unburrow or an Equalizer, but not a lot of hard
nice.
CC.
P just blind stole his red buff from March. Good news.
Likewise, the Death Sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your support and your Rek'Sai, and that's your engage tool. Especially when you're trying to push into someone's base. And
March has certainly been getting around this map doing a whole host of work. 8 out of the 9 kills he's been a part of. 3, 1, and 5 now as well. Titanic Hydra completed, as well as, of course, his Cinderhulk and the Sightstone.
And we've talked about just how strong Rek'Sai is in the meta. Again, the healthy place that Cinderhulk is in. How quickly she can jungle and then be super tanky and offer great CC and backline dive threat. But then also the fact that the trinkets have been adjusted and nerfed slightly. Vision control is a little bit different than it used to be, and her tremor sense meaning a lot more for that. The fact that the Void Rush acts as global presence on a map in a meta where double teleport is dominating a lot.
Yeah.
And especially when you don't have that double TP, how Rek'Sai can be very punishing.
Well, right now you can see a lot of topside focus. Probably waiting for this Baron to respawn before they try and knock down the front doors of Vici.
They really need to rely on the Baron, because again, unless they hit a death sentence, they don't have a lot of options to say, Vici, we fight here and now. Whereas Vici have great disengage tools. Again, the Rylai's, the Emperor's Divide, the Iceborne Gauntlet, Karma, Trundle Pillar.
Yeah, Dandy's well actually moving out of his base quite far. You can see Long able to push out that bottom wave. Got himself some much needed farm. Wanting to get to that tanky stage as this Trundle. Baron power play for about 3.2. Not exactly the hugest. They got a lot of map control out of it.
It's now about Vici very slowly moving up their defensive ward line to kind of even with the map. We actually see Caveman doing that right now, using pinks and sweepers to try to clear out their own jungle so they can safely approach this Baron pit, or at least the back of it in a minute. Although, speaking of safely approaching.
Yeah, Shron be able to at least hit the Mystic Shot, slows down March, and then Arcane shifts himself out. Still had the heal and flash, so he's fine. But Saint bullying them out. A minute until the Baron. We'll see whether Vici can contest.
They only have 2 sweepers on their team. Both of them are down right now. Hopefully they'll be back up by the time the Baron spawns in 45 seconds, or Vici will be able to stall out long enough for that. Saint haven't been the most consistent team in setting up plays over long amounts of time and being able to execute them on us cleanly. They're a bit more bloodthirsty, a bit more antsy, a bit more reactive to their power points. So they now have an opportunity to prove that they can be patient.
Well, P able to even out his CS with STYZ pretty much. Maydong as well. Now just clearing out vision around this Baron pit. Getting ready. It's very, very close. They probably want to pick before they go into something. As Long once again making his way towards the bottom side. Picks up this minion wave as it goes through.
One of the issues that they have is that Acorn can't safely stand across from Long. We've seen this Trundle going off despite his scoreline, being able to bully out Rumble in multiple instances. So Saint can't use their TP as effectively as they'd like to.
EasyHoon's got hooked. He manages to shift some sands away, but the ultimate is there. P tanking it up for his mid laner. As Caveman is going to move in for the last bolt, but there's the Chaos Storm. He takes so much damage, and immediately EasyHoon is erupted by that equalizer. Acorn with a fantastic teleport play, and this is exactly what Saint needed to get themselves in a good position. Nice flash, but not going to find the hook on the side of Maydong.
But understanding the importance that the Azir is down, so a big wave clear portion is down, and trying to make this count.
Well, you can see Vici just use everything to clear out that minion wave. Some lowish health members. They're still looking to try and get into position for this one. Dandy, a lot of AoE as March taking out this turret for a long time. Heal has to come in to save his life. As Long, a big body in the front line. Maydong taking some damage. The P offering some help. And now it's the Infernal Drake that looks to be the target of Saint.
Fight are still left in Vici.
Whoa, there's the flash forward. Long picks up the kill on the support. Maydong now down. Everyone up here for Vici.
So the decision... Oh, hold on. They might get caught again.
Yeah, no equalizer for the next couple of seconds.
So the initial decision from Saint was great. Again, we challenged them. Can they be patient? Can they set up a play? They did. They looked for the pick. They found EasyHoon. But the problem was, yes, it was correct to try to push in a tower without the Azir, but they overstayed. Vici did a great job by their powers combined, clearing the waves between the Ezreal ultimate, the Karma, and the Graves. And then Long really shoving them off the tower. If they had not overstayed, if they had immediately turned towards the Baron, if they had even turned towards the Baron after picking EasyHoon, maybe a different situation. But a great play from Vici to keep them in this game.
Yeah, and you can see now Saint actually setting up with two members. Oh, they are going to be spotted out. As the true shot barrages from P have been fantastic this game for both vision and stealing his own buffs.
That's the key thing, is the vision. We've seen particularly Deft from EDG setting this up as maybe another pick, this time on Saint.
Oh, March is in so much trouble. Takes himself the lantern, and somehow he's going to survive. EasyHoon right in this pit has to flash away, as now Vici still want this fight. They want to fight before the Rek'Sai can get back. Going to do so, clearing out vision. Captive audience stood on. Deadly Forest not going to find Dandy.
But unfortunately, Vici just don't have the waves to continue that chase. They need to respond to their map and use this moment to possibly look bottom. Yep, sending Long.
Yeah, there's a huge minion wave. He does still have the teleport. An advantage over Acorn, who has to be around here. Caveman dodges the hook nicely. As Long will make short work of this. Thankfully, the Ravenous Hydra gives him lots of wave clear speed if he can get up to the wave. Now Saint starting on this Baron. There are so many pings from Vici. They know exactly what's going on.
Dandy has the higher smite as well, level 14 to level 15. So a lot of respect as STYZ now caught.
Yeah, completely caught out of position. But Long taking so much damage. Just obliterated first off. STYZ is going to be able to lock that one down. P caught out of position here. They need to tank this up for him, but they make room for the Chaos Storm. Chaos Storm going to kill both of the bottom lane members of Vici. And now Saint, after what was a brilliant turnaround, are going to be able to move straight up this mid lane.
Yeah, I thought they had the pick. Unfortunately, Long just cut out and obliterated. STYZ doing massive amounts of work this late into the game. It's going to mean the inhib for Saint. And possibly the Baron.
Yeah, most likely the Baron to follow immediately afterwards. Dandy and EasyHoon will want to get some work done here.
I don't think they can do it right now simply because Snoopy doesn't have a lot of mana. Although Victor's not going to be the biggest part of it. It just means that if Vici collapse on them, Victor doesn't have a lot to offer in the incoming team fight.
Well, they do wander over a ward. They can be seen completely doing this. As the Baron come down very low. As there's the hook. Actually lands on Easy, who has to use his Emperor's Divide very early. As Dandy getting taken down so low. STYZ cleans up the kill. Still low health bars. Easy Hoon wants to find a way in. The hook not quite long enough. And Baron not going to fall as Saint are so low. They still want this fight. Easy Hoon not going to go over the wall with the shifting sands. And now Vici thinking about taking their turn.
No, it's really just making sure that they clear out and place down the appropriate vision. They have a window. Are they going to catch anyone? Nope, they're just clearing out the wave. Looking for Acorn. They have a window where they can move into the river and start placing down the Baron vision to make it safer to contest or to look for a steal.
Well, March, you could see, looking for some sort of flanking play, but the rest of his team wasn't back yet. He's just going to head in, clear out vision around the Baron. Vici, now that they're healthy again, still looking to try and fight this one out. 10,000 gold the lead for Saint. As Long does not have flash just yet. Teleport coming in for Acorn, finding his way right into the back of this pit as Easy Hoon doesn't have the damage across. It is going to be the Baron lockdown from Saint as Acorn takes down Easy Hoon and then gets pushed back over the wall. March now right in the back line as Long trying to fight with everyone on the side of Saint. Flashes out of the way. Subjugate doing some good work against March. But you can see now Saint just rippling over this Vici squad. Massive damage out of Snoopy. Xuan P is going to get taken down. And Long limping away from this battle. 4 for 1 so far as March possibly will fall down. Nope, not going to happen. As he eats himself a turret and STYZ has one thing in mind, and that is winning the game.
Yes, Saint just won the game. They just took down Vici Gaming. Again, they've been able to take maps off the likes of Newbie, off the likes of Invictus. They now get to add Vici to that list. But the question remains, can they actually close out a series?
Yeah, this is the big question, and they will have momentum now moving into game number 3. Not necessarily what we were expecting out of Saint, but even in the first game, they showed to be very competitive, especially with this Rumble pick out of Acorn, which is looking fantastic. See, Dandy not very happy right now.
Well, you can't imagine that Dandy would be happy. He was running around his jungle just trying to use small windows of opportunity to maintain even on farm. That Rek'Sai pick coming out huge for March.
Yeah, exactly, and came out huge for Dandy in game number 1. I have a feeling it's going to be a very contested pick moving into game number 3. And even Easy Hoon looked out of sorts. He changed up his build path really quite strangely, and STYZ really making things happen on this Jhin, which we've been seeing rise to popularity as well.
Being used a lot for its utility as well. A lot of those chasing plays that gave Saint such big advantages, especially in the last play where they picked up Long, was the fact that he went into the curtain call, that he was able to apply multiple slows across multiple members of Vici.
Yeah.
And allow his team to chase him down.
And once again, I mean, big shout out to the Thresh play here as well. He was able to land hook after hook, especially onto Easy Hoon here, who was eventually able to get himself out of this particular play. But, oh wait, no he wasn't, because Acorn's there.
But Vici run around the map, lost complete control of their jungle, lost individually in the lanes. The 2v2 wasn't going well for them. The 1v1 in the mid lane was curious. Easy Hoon had it neutralized effectively, but when it came to the 5v5, just because Long had been collapsed on earlier, the jungle had lost, in particular the bot lane had lost, there wasn't a lot that Dandy and Easy Hoon could do late game.
Yeah, and this was Vici actually struggling to work out what to do in the later stages of the game as well for one of the first times. And honestly, Saint, looking for the first time like they knew exactly what they wanted to achieve.
We never had any questions about their individual abilities. I'm glad to see that Acorn's kind of returning to form in a sense. He's playing very well on a signature pick like his Rumble, but the cool thing is that it was March stepping up, it was Acorn stepping up, and it was STYZ stepping up. Again, if you look at the goal distribution of a team like Saint, it's almost entirely on the back of STYZ and in particular his Caitlyn pick. So it's nice to see a team of a lot of veteran and experienced players kind of all